All right, shiny. Today we are on the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. I was inspired to ride this model because I have a friend who owns an Interceptor 650. So he let me take it around the block, and I thought it was fun. So here I am, giving it a proper go. I don't know why I said it like that. Checking mirrors. So, I mean, not a lot of bells and whistles, and not, you know, this is one of the best value motorcycle companies I think that you can find, especially now that they're available here in the United States. And so, you know, I am all about giving everyone a shot, giving this bike a shot, and so here we are. Really simple controls here. You got your on and off kill switch here, the ignition at the bottom. You've got high and low beams on the left, your turn signals, and then underneath you've got your horn, and then your high beam flashers there at the top, that little yellow switch. So that's all there is to it. If you're familiar with the Meteor, which I've ridden before, I'll put a link up here so you guys can check that video out if you want to watch that one. If you're familiar with the Meteor, it has a nice little gauge here that shows you turn-by-turn navigation if you hook it up to your phone. So that's really cool. This doesn't have that, but either way, this is a really simple, classic feeling, classic looking bike with just absolutely manageable power, which is excellent for someone just starting out. When I rode the Meteor, the Meteor is just a 350 or a 250. It's a really small displacement engine. Really manageable power. When I say manageable, I mean you can give that thing as big a twist on the throttle as you want, and it's just gonna putt by. And that's great for somebody who's, you know, only comfortable with so much. We're talking about like in the 60s for torque, max torque, and I don't even know if the horsepower is a number that you can find. And if I can, I will put it on the screen for you here. Seat height's manageable for someone my height. It's a little over 31 inches, or over 31 inches, about 31 and a half. I'll have that number for you as well, but I can tiptoe really comfortably here. This bike's weight, I'll put that down here as well, which I'm thinking is coming in around the mid 400s. And so, you know, the weight is going to be manageable too. So if you're a shorter person looking to get the, or considering the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, you know, as a shorter rider, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine, I think. And again, when I always do these test rides, I always tell my viewers to make sure, you know, go out and ride these bikes yourself, because you know, I can talk to you all day about these bikes, but unless you actually get out here and ride them for yourself, you're just not going to know. All right, so ABS comes standard on all Royal Enfield models, which is great. Again, it's one of those safety features I think that, especially for a newer rider, you know, you don't want to lock those brakes up, and so being having ABS as a standard feature is great. All right, so I can already tell that this bike as a 650 with a little bit more torque is going to be a lot more fun, a lot more spirited. I'm not going to say sporty. That's not a word I would match up with the Interceptor 650, but just a fun bike. Especially, you know, when you look at this bike, when you just take a look at the bike, the styling is awesome. You know, this chrome paint job I think is awesome. It has really makes it a really unique look for a bike that, you know, a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people, especially in the United States, know about. If you're talking about India, and I think in the UK or in Europe, it's going to be a little more popular, but here in the United States, a lesser known brand. I like this look too. This harkens me back to like my BMX bike that I had when I was a kid. So when I see these handlebars that have this little bar here across the top, it looks cool. And again, we're talking about features on a bike that's, you know, just a really basic standard bike that make it stand out just a little bit. Not to mention this chrome paint job. Okay, so what I was going to talk about was the seat. We can do that now because we missed this light somehow. What I want to talk about was the seat. And when you look at the seat, it's just like a banana seat, right? It's just flat seat all the way across the back, which, you know, if you've got a passenger, it's going to put you at the same eye height. So you know this bike isn't going to have enough pep to really to really scoot you back in the seat, which is, you know, I think when you see a seat like that, you wonder, am I going to be sliding back in that? And the answer is probably going to be no. We'll see here as we go how it does. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll talk about things that I like to talk about on like for new riders, because I think most people who are considering the Interceptor 650 are newer riders or beginners. And so this bike, despite this young lady in front of us killing it here at the stoplight, trying to get going, you know, the clutch engagement here is right in the middle. It's right like where I like it. You know, on a beginner bike, if you're looking at a clutch that's going to let out really late, it's concerning, because, you know, you're going to end up killing it really often. So for a beginner bike, this clutch has a nice engagement right in the mid-range as you let it out. And then obviously, you know, giving it everything you've got here on the throttle, you're still going to be fine as far as not getting surged forward, which is a concern for someone who's a beginner rider. So again, back to the style, you know, Royal Enfield, to me, it has such a classic look, and to me the Interceptor 650 is just a really sharp looking motorcycle. It comes in a ton of different colorways, which I'll have up here on the screen for you, and so, you know, you can find the one that suits your style, suits your favorite color the best, and just run with it. As far as customization goes, you know, for a bike that's such a great value, there's a lot of companies that you talk about when you talk about excellent value for a motorcycle. I don't think that there's probably a whole lot of customization options, and I'm talking about like grips and mirrors and exhaust. But I think that if this is an option for you, this is gonna be, you know, you're just gonna ride it the way it is off the lot, which is why I think a bike like this has so many options as far as colorways and color schemes. You're gonna have a lot of options in that way. So let's stop talking about style, and as we get into this ride, let's talk about how it rides. Suspension is very soft. You know, along with the soft suspension, we're also looking at a really kind of a plushy, soft seat. And now it's not super soft by any means. And we checked the brakes there as we had a stop fast with the anti-lock brakes. That's one of those times where, should I have been on a bike without anti-lock brakes, we might have skidded forward a little bit there. So yeah, that's really nice. Oh yeah, so go back to the talking about the seat. The seat's soft, but it's not so soft that I feel like on a longer ride I'm going to hit the bottom of that seat, the seat pan, and it'd be uncomfortable. I think that you're going to be comfortable in this seat for you know, fairly longer distances. And again, we're talking about a gas tank that's around 3 gallons, I think, and I'll have that exact number here for you on the screen. And you got the single disc brake here in front and single disc in back. I'll have exact brake specifications for you here. And it does come with passenger pegs too, I believe. So you can have a passenger on here, and that's standard. Oh, I hope this girl doesn't, I just don't want her to drop it. That's my main concern right now. And again, you know, on these test rides, you're gonna get people who have just started riding, and this is the kind of bike that they're considering. And I really, kudos to her, because I mean, it's nerve-wracking. You're not just talking about the drivers in this case that are waiting on you. You're talking about the riders too. So, you know, it's not something. If you're watching this video, you're a beginner rider, you're kind of afraid to get out on a demo ride. You know, you're always gonna have somebody who's gonna give you a hard time or be a jerk. But you know, I found that riders on demo rides a lot are very supportive of one another. So, you know, I just wouldn't give too much to that. Get out here and give it a whirl like this young lady has up in front. Yeah, so not overwhelming with the power at all. You know, I'm giving it a good roll on the throttle. It doesn't surge forward, but at the same time, this isn't like the Meteor, where when I gave it a good roll, you could give it a full roll on the throttle all the way back, and you're still not going to get much out of it. This one does give you a little bit of a surge, but again, it's so manageable. But the manageable would be the word I would use, because, you know, as a new rider, you're looking for something that's not going to be overwhelming, and this bike's not going to overwhelm you. I can tell you that much. But a very comfortable ride. Like I said, suspension's nice and soft. So if you're talking about some urban riding in town, you're looking at lots of potholes, lots of undulations, a lot of imperfections in the road. This suspension is going to absorb those for you. Yeah, so we're getting up a little bit higher speeds here, about 50 miles an hour. I got my knees on the hugging the tank, and this is just for me. I'm 5'6" with a 30-inch inseam, if I hadn't already mentioned that. And this is just a really good, comfortable riding position. Again, if you're a newer rider and you're looking to take longer trips, and you're graduating from something like a 125cc or a 350 or a 300, this might be a little tame for you. You might be wanting to graduate to something a little bit more aggressive than this, because this is very, like I said, very manageable, but at the same time, it's very comfortable too. So if you're not ready to graduate to something like, say, a 700cc, like a naked sport bike or something, and you're looking to stay in this lower range, this might be a good bike for you, because it's comfortable, and it's going to be comfortable for long distance because of the riding position I'm talking about. The seat is relatively comfortable as well, and you know, we're gonna get up to a little bit higher speeds here, I think, and you're gonna see how well it performs as far as getting up into those higher speeds, and how well we might keep up, if you're talking about maybe going on a ride with a little bit more seasoned rider, or someone with a bigger bike. Woohoo! Okay, yeah. So I mean, I was able to get up going pretty fast there, and this bike has and I'm just gonna say a little bit of giddy up, a little bit of go. It's got some great views here out on these test rides today. All right, so let's see. We talked about suspension. We talked about the brakes. Brakes doing really well. Plus, you got ABS, so that's a great feature to have. Excellent fuel economy. Now, when you talk about a bike like this, again, fuel economy is going to be something you are going to want to look at. And this bike, at least listed, and you know, it's the list MPG or the list fuel economy is always going to be probably more than you're actually going to get, which is listed at around 70 miles per gallon. Now, we're talking about a parallel twin engine, just sub 650 cc's. It's going to get you going for a pretty good distance before you got to fill up, especially if you're going to get anywhere near that 70 miles per gallon advertised MPG. You know, even if you're looking at only getting like even if you're only looking at getting, let's say, like 60 or 55, that's still a good fuel economy. And again, for a bike with that's not a super sporty bike, it's excellent. Got a little sweeping turn there, a little mini turn, handles really nicely. Really nothing to not like about this bike. All right, so we're up at 65. This is like highway speed now, and let's talk about some of the things that beginner riders might be considering when they're talking about getting a motorcycle like this. I don't feel overwhelmed by the wind. I have a mesh jacket, so the wind passes through pretty easily without catching it like a parachute. At highway speeds, this is, again, manageable is a great word to use. Managing the wind with this bike is not going to be a problem. I didn't feel overwhelmed by the wind. That's one of the first things I noticed when I first started riding. I had a just over a 600cc motorcycle when I first started riding. It was a Yamaha Radian, an old Yamaha Radian, 1986 or 85. And that was one of the first things I noticed, was how, you know, getting hit with that wind was one of the first things that kind of scared me. Except at the same time, it was very exhilarating. You know, that's one of the things that we love about riding is the wind in our face and getting going at those highway speeds. It's like it's a rush, especially that first time. And on this motorcycle, I felt really confident. And so I think that even if you've got to work your way up to those highway speeds, you're gonna enjoy riding the Interceptor 650. This is the part of the video where I would ask you guys, if you have questions regarding the Interceptor 650, make sure you leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, and if I can't answer them, I'll make sure to track that answer down for you. Okay, so something I did not mention before was that this bike has 6 speeds, and again, that's something that I'm not sure that most motorcycles, and even I want to say the Himalayan, which is their adventure bike, only has 5 speeds. So I don't know, there's no indicator here on the dash to tell me what gear I'm in. No, I thought maybe it would, but no, there is no gear indicator on the dash. But 6 speeds is significant, I think. It's also helps you, you know, if you're graduating to a bigger bike, like even the Sportsters only have 5 speeds, but if you're graduating, oh, it's a nice Corvette. Yeah, squirrel. If you're graduating to a bigger bike, having that 6 speed, knowing that that's there, it's just kind of nice. Really? Corvette, you're gonna do that to us? I take it back. That's not a nice car. I'm just kidding. That car is freaking awesome. All right, let's get into this turn. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, coming out of that turn, I just gave it a little bit more, and it feels really nice. It did really feel really nice. So we got this wide sweeping turn here. We're going just under like highway speeds, about 55. And you can probably hear it here on the video. The amount of wind noise that increases here as we get going. I mean, it's going to happen. Again, if you've got like a windscreen here or a windshield, like a full-on windshield as opposed to just a tiny little windscreen, you're going to get less noise. Then you're going to have to contend with wind buffeting, which is a whole other thing. And if you guys have questions about wind buffeting, make sure you leave those in the comments as well. But guys, if you like this video, if you found it helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up down there, which is the like button. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Guys, if you're out there riding, please be safe. Be kind to one another. My name is Eric. I'm that one guy. And I am out.